TSM's new jungler, and they're rocking the top lane.
Thank you, Freak. I am joined by Santorin and Dyrus after a fantastic win there. You both managing to come out of it with 0 deaths, so fantastic scorelines. I'm sure the fantasy owners will be happy.
Except Turtle.
except Turtle. No, yeah, you too. Turtle, we know him. He goes a little wild sometimes, so it's expected, to be expected. I want to ask immediately off the bat, Santorin, I think it's interesting to get the players' insight for where they feel was the turning point in the match. So at what point during the game did you feel like this is our game to lose? You know, like we have a handle on it.
I feel like already from the start, as long as we didn't make any early game mistakes, then we would just like basically just outscale them, because I felt like our comp was just stronger. So we just like played it safe, got the vision control, and then just wanted to siege mid.
Now you had a bit of a late game comp though with the Tristana, and it was obvious that you guys wanted to avoid the straight up 2v2, so much so that you even had the recall, like walk into lane, recall, and go top. Was that a little bit worrisome though, the fact that you were taking a minute of time to readjust your strategy, Dyrus?
It was, but Turtle made a calm decision. It's like, guys, I can't lane against Piglet early on, and I'm gonna go top. And I'm like, all right, I think that's good. That way we stick to our plan. He's a little bit more behind than he should be, but then you just stick to the plan. And then we ended up winning in farm anyways, so it worked out.
You guys you managed to secure a very early lead. Used that. You invested in 2 Doran's rings as well as a Morel and Omnicom. Bjergsen did the same thing, even elixired up only about 18 minutes into the game, and you guys grouped for this huge kind of siege push. Did you feel like you were under the clock for some reason and that you needed to push that hard, or just like that was the best decision in that time?
So we wanted to make sure we're not playing too scared, but playing towards our comp. There's a certain power spike within the game depending on like which champion. Like let's say Rumble gets Sork boots, that's a power spike. Content Guys, power spike. Leandry's, like certain item power spikes is when you can play more aggressive. And of course we don't want to play scared all game, because then the fans get bored too. You don't want
sure
to
that's
just
appreciated.
Yeah, you don't want to play a passive game all game. You want to play towards your comp and play it properly. And we played it properly, and we wanted to try and keep on pushing an advantage, but the game just wasn't moving, so we just kept playing on the game and edging it on until we could get to that point.
So Santorin, in those moments of lull that Dyrus just described, the fact that sometimes you aren't able to push directly for an objective, do you find that those are actually harder to navigate than when you have a clear directive?
It's definitely easier when you like know where just to go, but I feel like, as I said, we had the better scaling comp, so we didn't have like a clock timing and stuff. So it's like really easy just to like stay calm, wait for the opportunities, and then go for them.
And then I do want to jump into a replay. We're going to go to the top lane 31 minutes into the game. You guys come out of this fight 3-0. It was a pretty fantastically played fight for both teams. Santorin, I want you to walk me through it, because I want to get the mindset of how you guys approach a team fight strategically with the team comp that you had, which is a double AP, somewhat siege-oriented composition. So we're going to pull that up on your screen, and I'll let you walk through it.
So here we like far ahead. So like here we're just like trying to siege and make sure they can't flank us with Nah. And we know that if they are running into us, we can just like keep kiting them and we'll win like eventually. And here we get a free kill on Nuno, and then Cross is like out of position. He's way ahead from the team. And then we get a Piglet catch, and we just like kill him, I think. Actually, no.
Not over yet.
Yeah.
Not
okay,
quite
here
over
we get,
yet. Well, it was a long
Phoenix.
fight. It was very close, honestly, for it to go both either way.
There's the important part. Okay.
That was the important part.
Dyrus, I have to ask, Lissandra, she's deceptively tanky and zony in the sense that she has her ultimate to throw on herself as well as Zonia's. Piglet was effectively zoned in that fight for about 9 seconds, just from the fact that you were in between him and the team in your own Ice Tomb and in your own Zonias. Do you find that that is the most attractive part of her kit?
Personally, I gave most of my farm to Turtle, so I was more focused on not dying than zoning people. I did have Zonias, so I was in the middle of the fight. I'm like, oh, I'm here. If I don't ult myself, I'm dead. If I don't Zonias here, I'm dead. If I don't flash here, I'm dead. And then I didn't die.
All right. Well, what more could you ask for, right? Santorin, a slightly different route here. I do want to talk about, you've received some criticism from the public or other people about the fact that you are seen as a puppet, for Bjergsen in the mid lane, that if given the opportunity, you will find your way to the mid lane to help him out. Bjergsen, on the other hand, has given you a ton of credit for being a fantastic jungler and has a ton of praise for what you add to the team. I wanted to ask you, what do you feel is your style of jungling and your role on the team?
God.
In the start, like when I was back in Europe, I was more like the carry jungler. I really wanted to make the big plays and stuff. But then when I joined TSM, and I just felt like the team will carry me as long as I make sure they are safe in the early game. And then we just like play for vision, and then Bjergsen and Turtle will like carry later on. So I feel like it's like I just want to take the supportive style, make sure Bjergsen doesn't get behind and stuff like that.
All right, and Dyrus, this has to be brought up. You guys now move into first, tied with CLG. So it's kind of the re-emergence of the very old CLG TSM.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I have to ask you, what are your feelings of that? I mean, one, it's got to feel good just to be back at the top of the standings early in the split and have asserted some dominance. But you're also finding yourself as the member of the team who's been around since that era. What's that feel like?
Well, other than sending Liquid back to 4th place, I think CLG and TSM at the top, just like season 1 and 2, it would be a really nice rivalry this time around. Didn't really expect much of them the last couple of years, but this year I think they have a really, really good chance, and then they're actually good this year.
All right, and then my final question to you, Dyrus, is the inspiration behind the John Cena stuff with you and Lustboy. Where is that coming from, and are you actively coaching him into doing this kind of stuff?
So Lustboy, he does a lot of memes and a lot of things around the internet. He knows more than we do ourselves, and he's Korean. So it first originated from Soda Poppin' stream. It was a sub emote, and then I picked it up, and I watched the prank call, and it's really, really funny. And then he just picked it up, and it was hilarious.
Already getting a handle on the pop culture here in North America. Well, gentlemen, again, congratulations on a very solid victory, your move into first place, and good luck in practice and your games next week. Now, when we come back, Team Impulse and Teammate will meet on the Rift to battle it out for honor, glory, and our collective entertainment. So keep it tuned right here.
FVB TSM. Tonight I buy food. Okay.
Santorin, true damage. The Black Shield didn't do much of anything. It finally did stop some W. Phoenix cleanses, but he cleansed early. Oh, God, special. There's a surprise binding. You were right after all. Santorin goes for the dunk. Special flashes out. Gets the kill. Anyway.
No. Kite back. I'm damaging Piglet.
Kite back, keep
Piglet.
I'm nothing.
I'm shooting turret.
More done here. Quas gets locked up. Special gonna get bursted down. That's a 1-for-0. TSM end the week tied for first place.